taking your time off from your busy schedule. Right. Okay. Today we're going to cover in this webinar the 10 effective techniques to improve your digital marketing initiative in your company. So yeah, pretty much what you can do is if you are having any challenges in your marketing campaign right now, you can actually put it in the chat. Later during the Q&A, I will try to answer all your questions and all your concerns, right? So the agenda for today is going to be like I will share the 10 techniques for the next 40 minutes or so, and in the last 10 minutes we will have the Q&A. So if you have any questions, put it in the chat or leave it until the end. It's good that you have any question while I'm sharing the slides. You can actually put it on the chat so we do not miss any of your questions, right? So with that, let's get started. So my name is Paul. Today, yeah, we're just gonna break down the 10 effective methods that's been helping my agency to take the business to the next level. So for those who do not know me, a little brief introduction. My name is Paul Victor. I'm a digital strategist. Used to run my own conventional business, that means brick and mortar company, before venturing online about a decade ago. I started off doing affiliate offers and CPA, and then into client consulting. So after years of serving the international market, in March 2018, I decided to teach, train, and consult local business on these subject matters: SEO, search engine optimization, YouTube video marketing, social media branding, email marketing. Email marketing is one of the key element of Malaysian company, which a lot of companies are not utilizing it. Lead generation, again, like I said, is CPA is cost per acquisition, or even pay per call. And of course, for those companies who want to transform themselves from a brick and mortar company to a digital company, I'll do consult them as well. And also here are some of the testimonials from my past work. You can check them out more on my LinkedIn profile. Okay. So yeah, these are why we are seeing a lot of international agencies or customers. Basically, because when I started back in the days when I started, a lot of Malaysian companies were not sort of like prepared to. Yeah, let me just clear this. Something on my slide. All right, that is off. Okay, short commercial break. Yeah, when I started my consulting career, most of Malaysian business were not ready, or they were serviced by big client, big companies, agencies, and they have like contracted with them. So now things have changed, especially after COVID, with everyone working online or from home. More and more companies are accepting some digital marketing consultant to do their digital marketing activities. Right, let's dive into our program. First and foremost is plan. Do you have a plan, or do you have a written digital marketing plan? Yes, you have heard it, because according to the latest research, about 45% of businesses don't have a written digital plan. This may sound like to you like cliche, or you have heard from it. If you don't have a written plan, you pretty much whatever you're doing, you're like shooting blanks. You don't have a right direction to where you're headed, right? It's easy for me to understand if small businesses don't have a plan, because they have so many things on their plates um, as they're running their business. But the old saying, failing to plan is planning to fail, rings true when you don't have a strategy. So when you're thinking about your digital marketing strategy, one of the key consideration is objective, right? You need to be very clear what are your objectives. And when defining your objectives, I would recommend you follow these following qualities, which is a SMART objectives. We call this in GMI. S, which is stand for specific, measurable. There's you can measure, because everything that you do online you can pretty much measure. Yeah, that is why digital marketing is so effective. Achievable, whether you're putting your expectation very high or you're putting expectation very low. The relevancy of your objective, and also time bound. So if you keep that in mind, you will have the framework to make sure that your objectives are complete, understandable, measurable, and can actually help you achieve better results. So before you start working on your goals, it is super important, if you're working for large companies, to discuss your objectives with relevant stakeholders, like maybe your CEO or MD or your marketing directors, and understand how and where these are achieved on your business side, because everything need to come together. Next is marketing. Are you doing it's a market, or a, what do you call that, competitors research? Understanding your market is crucial, because if you don't know your market, you pretty much, again, it's you see, like back in the days when we run our traditional business, what we do is we think this product can sell, we just go in, launch the business, and then we just go at it, right? In the recent digital world, research is everything. It will determine your success, right? Because investing a small amount of time, you can gather insights for making smart competitive decisions about how to position your brand, what kind of products there's people are looking for, or the company that you're going to or represent in the marketplace, right? Not only you can learn from best practices from competitors, because whatever we are doing online, you can pretty much model after what is working, right? What is the best success model? If you're gonna look at a company, look at people who are achieving, right? So when you do that, you can actually learn from your competitors and avoid the mistakes they make, right? You can also keep track of your competitors. You can know pretty much who are they, what are they saying about them, or what people are saying about them, and that can help you actually transform your business and stay ahead of trends. We have, yeah, so basically, like, competitor analysis is about understanding what your competitors are doing, especially in terms of marketing strategy. Um, the best way to do is through a quick SWOT analysis. See, I think every one of you here familiar with SWOT analysis, right? You learn about your weakness, your strength, your opportunities, and what are your threats. Use the same principle in your digital marketing, and you can go further. All right. So, in competitive research, basically it provides you with insight into what your competitors are doing in terms of marketing. Right? We just covered that just now. What their message and positioning is, and how well they are received. The three basic element in doing a competitive marketing research is basically your strategy, to understand what media and content strategy your competitors has adopted, uh, because it can help reduce friction and prevent overlapping, meaning that if, let's say, your competitor is going after a certain message, if you do the same message, then it'll be like pretty watered down. It will not become relevant to your target audience, right? They don't know who is who actually. Target market, understanding the next thing for you to focus on is your target market. Understanding your competitors' target market in depth can provide insight for your own target audience. And it should differ actually, because based on how your product solve the problem. Because if you know your competitor's product have certain limitation, this is where you can actually structure a campaign to overcome that, right? It can also help you to understand the challenge, or the similarity of your target audience. Next, for the message, understanding the competitor's message will enable you to separate yourself from the competition. Right? Brands with similar message, like I said just now, you get pretty much less credit and visibility because it will cause confusion in the consumer's mind. Just take an example of our uh, not going into politics, but then you see, like when the lockdown uh, was announced, there were miscommunication or what do you call that? We call it a every each one of different ministers coming and telling different SOPs to follow. So there's creating confusion. So the same thing here. Whenever you are pretty much, you see, like digital exposes your weakness as well as your strength, right? You can't pretty much run away from your weakness as well as your strength. So doing your research well will eliminate all these problem in the future. All right. Okay. The best part about doing online marketing or online business online campaigns, you have tools to actually listen to what people are saying about your brand, right? Because by then, okay, audience listening by definition in our industry is like it's actually like listening or listen to monitoring what people are saying about your channel or about your brand, right? Um, because every day tons of your target audience discussing topics that's related to your brand, either directly or indirectly. So they don't care whether you hear about them or not, but you need to take into account that these are important. These are like your natural feedback from the market about your product and services. So one of my favorite tool is Hootsuite. Hootsuite give you a free service where you can actually listen to what you can register for free, and pretty much you can manage three different accounts, social accounts, right? So if you have um, okay, you guys can't hear me. All right. um Guys, if you can hear me, put in one in your chat box. There are some who can't hear. If admin is listening, can you look into it? Please join audio. Okay. All right, great. We are back. So, the social, okay, social audience listening tool is basically where you learn actually who's talking, what people are talking about you, right? Hootsuite is one of those. You can actually, let me see if I can click. Oops, hang on a second here. Okay. Yeah, so make use of these tools, guys. Like TweetDeck is for Twitter. Whatever people are saying about your brand on Twitter, you can actually get insights from there. Influencers is basically if you are using influencers, see what are they talking about you, and hashtag is more of a branding a hashtag. See what kind of conversation are happening and what type of audience are actually selecting your kind of tag as a hashtag. Right. Next, we'll go into website optimization. This is your key where you're actually most cases all your customer journey starts either on a website or on your social platform. But it's good to have your own website simply because that's the asset that you are in control, right? If you have only social platforms, I mean your business is only on social platform, then pretty much if let's say your account got banned, then you lose all your followings, you lose all your audience. So if you're running a business, my some recommendation is highly to establish a website, your own branded website. Having a website alone is not enough. If there's one thing that you should do to market your business effectively is to get a professional design, SEO and mobile friendly website. Because if you hire a college student to create your website, they can be good at designing, but then it's not optimized for search engine to find you. Which I find a lot of my students when they come to our classes, some of their sites are not even indexed or found on search engines because it's designed by someone without any experience of how the search engine works, right? So one. Hang on, guys, I'm muted. Okay, so can you guys hear me? All right. All right. Thanks, Mr. Kim. Okay. So don't be seduced by simple online website builder because there's many these days. Some of it easy to use is a drag and drop functionality. Right. So make sure you know what you're doing because in this day and age, there's no reason you cannot own a simple and beautiful website for your business, right? Go for it, guys. If you don't have a website, start with a website because this is where your customer journey starts. You go to a website builder, right? Seriously, you have WordPress, you have Wix, you have simple sites. There's so many sites now available, right? Because yeah, pretty much because you see, like nowadays with social media offering like e-commerce sites and everything, you are likely like most of the business owners in Malaysia, they take it a back seat in developing a website. They think it's not necessary, which is not recommended at all because, like I said earlier, if your website, I mean, if your social sites got banned or if someone hacked into your social site, you pretty much lose all your audience. So whenever you do something online, make sure you have control over it, right? Social site, we call it borrowed site. Okay, these are some of the things that for hosting it comes as cheap as $3 to $5 per month, right? If you don't want to host on, let's say, on paid platform, you can actually host in it's in Blogger. If you guys heard about Blogger, Blogger is also part of Google, and you can also host on Google site as well. Later, I'll show you which one. Okay, this is your key to buying. I mean, to start a website, you need to buy a domain. Okay, how do you buy a domain? You go to places like GoDaddy. Um, it's like GoDaddy or HostGator or Namecheap. You have the whole works, and you also have local suppliers. Okay, the extension, meaning the .com or .my, is not critical. But if you are targeting international, go for .com. But if you're only based on in Malaysia, go for .my because the rest of it doesn't carry much weight. So try to buy a domain that is either a .com or .my or a .my or a .com if you're going international. Okay, Azrin says, could you repeat the two criteria to consider when building a website? Okay. Yeah, we will cover that later, Azrin, as I go into SEO because it's all interrelated. Thanks for the heads up. Um, okay, once you've done your website, it's good that you have a website. But if let's say no one's know you, then it's pretty much sucks, right? So this is where SEO come into play, right? Because when you have a website, you need to be positioned in the first page. If not number one, either ideally you need to be positioned in the first page. So today I will share with you some of the elements that you need or so-called some of the ranking factors that will actually help you to rank on Google. Right? This is very crucial because you will get traffic in years and years to come as long as your website is active and running on the search engines. Right? So what is SEO? You guys can read it for yourself. I recommend that you focus on it since it is potentially a great free method to reach your audience as they are looking for your products or offer. SEO should be considered essential if you run local or national business. Right? There are two unrealistic expectations from the business owners. One is they don't they ignore the whole concept of SEO, or they expect the impossible, right? So SEO is actually a long-term play, and you build it in as you go along, right? A lot of companies, like for instance, if you're in a very specific niche, for instance, like automotive. A lot of you guys are from the automotive here, I see. You can be like competing with the big boys, but if you are looking for, let's say, if you want to rank in Google, go for those long tail keywords. Or what it mean by keyword is actually a search phrase, or something like, if you want to, let's say, um, for instance, if I want to buy a four-wheel drive, I will put there what is the best rate for a four-wheel drive. Yeah, if you can create content based on that, then pretty much you can actually beat up your principal if you do that by doing your keyword research. We will go through that later at the latest slide. So what should you do to optimize your website? On-site SEO. On-site SEO is make sure you're on par. Make sure every page of a website you want to rank for has a unique title, right? That's the key here, guys. Whenever you create a page, make sure your title is unique. Make sure your URL. What is URL? You see here, this is, let me show you the example. Let's see. Um, Shout out the name, guys. If you want me to look at your website, just, just shout out a name for your site. Let's say, starting this from. Right. You see here, the title. Okay, this is the title, and this is the description. Right. So if, let's say, you want, if this is my, and you guys, I hope you guys are the same. You see the title here. I mean, the title is Audi Malaysia. Yeah, you pretty much know you're looking for an Audi, but straight away you have your description. You are giving a call to action straight away. One more savings enjoy from blah blah blah. Right. So this is something that you need to consider before you actually. So on page is actually what you can do on your site. That means you have control over it, right? Um, you can pretty much change all this on your back end. You can change the title, you can change the description, right? The more precise it is, make sure is uh, is precise and what you want to achieve. Because when you have a good title and a good description, it will encourage people to click through to your site. Right. The other one is when you do not use outdated tactics. If you because a lot of there's a lot of services out there who give you like black hat tactics. If you don't know about website, don't even consider using those kind of tactics, or make sure you check with someone who's in the know how to actually go about it. Right? Keep the title, keep topics and target long tail keywords if you have a blog, right? If you for those of you who are blogging, um, you got to think of topics or target long tail keywords so that your blog will be ranked, right? And if you are blogging, make sure you blog regularly. Next will be on-site also, because since Google last year, end of last year, Google changed their algorithm, updated their algorithm to mobile first indexing, right? This is you see like your your SEO, it is your SEO starts on your website, right? Everything that you do, make sure for instance here, make sure your site is mobile optimized. The themes that you use, if you're using a WordPress site, are mobile friendly as well as mobile responsive, meaning that you get to scroll from left to right. You don't scroll from left to right, but you only scroll up and down, right? Because more and more more and more people are using it's mobile to actually access the internet. The next thing that you should consider is your site speed. How fast does your site load? Currently, the site speed is at less than 2 seconds. If your site is anything above 2 seconds, you pretty much will not rank that much. You will not be ranked on Google, right? So make sure you have a fast ranking website. A lot of if you're using WordPress or if you are using those, it's a custom website. Check with your developer. Make sure they optimize it for speed as well, because most often they're not. What's slowing them down is the image size, the hosting. Hosting also will affect your site speed. If you're using like plugins, for instance, like WordPress sites, when you use a lot of plugins, you pretty much bloat the site with plugins, script errors, and also insufficient some caching. These all these effects you can actually solve with plugins on WordPress. So if you're using WordPress, try. I would recommend is go for the paid plugins, because some of them they can handle all these issues in one plugin rather than have multiple plugins. They can do one paid plugin can actually pretty much what do you solve all these issues for you guys. Okay, why speed is 53% of all visitors leave the website if it's not loaded within 3 seconds. How many of you all agree? Uh, put a one in your chat if you agree to that. Next, your structure, right? This is important because if let's say you are running a blog and your structure is just a post base, meaning your whole structure is like a silo. It's not something like this. It's just a silo. Then it's one your post and then your post and post and post and post. Okay, those are the way you're causing trouble actually, because if once one of the blocks get affected or gets hacked by a spammer, your whole site will go down, right? So that will affect your whole site ranking factor. So structure your websites something like in this diagram, you will be safe. These are some of the ranking factors that affects your ranking on for your website to rank. Right, your time on site. Time on site is basically is how long people visit your site, how long they stay on your site. If let's say someone comes into your site and they leave before 30 seconds, that will consider a bounce rate, and that will send a signal to Google that your site is not relevant. Why people leave your site could be it's not what they're looking for. Your message in the blog or in your site is not being looking for. Uh, okay, total referring domain, we will cover that later. Backlinks, what is backlinks? We also cover that later. You have referring. Okay. See, these are the various ranking factors that's key to your website. How to build a keyword list? Keyword list, okay, don't get too caught up with keyword list. Keyword is just a search phrase that you will type. Let's say when if you're looking for a dentist you got a toothache and you're looking for a dentist. So when you go to Google, let's say you are staying in Shah Alam, you would put in dentist near me in Shah Alam, or it's a dentist near me. then this near me is a search phrase or the keyword that you should have in your content, either in your title or in your description, right? So that will actually help Google to tell, okay, you are actually somewhere where the visitor is looking for, and they will actually put up your site to rank. So these are some of the factors that you look at when you are looking for long tail keywords. All right, the next is keyword research. How do you do your keyword research? Simple, there are keyword research tool, and also there are the other option is like when you go to Google, pretty much you will just type in the keyword that you are looking for. Like for instance, here I've searched for apartments in Port Dickson, and these are all that came. This is like this is uh, before COVID, yeah. So that's why there's a lot of ads for the apartments. Now, if I do that, I don't know whether I still have paid ads. Um, Let me show you guys an example. Oops. You see, there's no ad running. Everyone everyone is not spending money because not everyone can go for the okay. Apartments. Still there is, yeah. There's only one ad compared to previously. You see here, there's so many ads. One, two, three, four. Okay. Why these guys are still advertising on Booking.com? Because there are still people who wants to get away from all this, right? From get away from the lockdown, or like for instance, we in Selangor we had water issues last week. So if I don't want to go through that hassle of carrying buckets to and fro from the truck, I might go to places like this. So if my site is being advertised, pretty much I will book here. True. So sometimes you got to take into consideration a situation around something like this. What happened if everyone is going A direction, you go B direction, right? Excuse me, let me get a drink, right? So when you're doing marketing, always try not to follow the norm. Always be creative, be bold. That's why you see these kind of people like Booking.com, they are so they're doing well simply because they spend money when no one else is spending. Right? Next, next tactic that is important if you're running a local business is business listing. I'm seeing a lot of because yesterday when I looked at the attendance list, I see a lot of it's an automotive. You guys are from the automotive industry, and just give me a shout out if anyone of you from any other industry that you want me to just check whether you guys are listed, whether your business are listed besides in Facebook or social site. Just put it in the chat for us to have a look because business listing is very crucial right now. There's a special tool from Google. If you optimize it well, you will rank because Google has changed the whole ball game. Training is such a broad word. Do you have specific? Yeah, consulting. Uh, so give me your niche. Okay, florist in which part? Florist in? Florist in. Yeah. what do you see here? Um, this is actually a listing by Google My Business. These are not website listing, but these are listing from Google My Business. That is why our our um, listen our so-called it's not coming. Our it's a recommendation for number 5 is business listing. See, like Forest, even though they are actually like overtaking all those big uh, big brand names like flowerchain.com is one of big brands like these guys are on Facebook, right? Okay, when I click on this one, this listing, you see all this listing? These are all Google My Business listing, right? So because it is essential for local business and SEO, right? It's okay. This is not relevant if you are only an online business because you need to have your physical address and everything. But if you have, let's say, if you're an online business and you still want to have it listed, you can list it and then you can hide the address because you can put it as a service area rather than anything else, right? Like for instance, like this Forest, let me check if they own this business. Okay, this business has been claimed, so yeah, so this is from the owner itself. Oops. Let's take another one. Excuse me. Just honest healthy. Okay. For instance, I'm getting this. For instance, I just, for instance, like from Azreen, it's like just wellness healthy. I'm getting. Okay, you have listed. Yeah, your site is being listed on Google My Business. Mm, did you list this yourself or? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is good because you see, like, you have your a listing and you pretty much okay. The key to rank in, let's say, something like this. When I type Audi, you want to rank in the three pack. So called we call this in an online term. These are what we call three packs. How do you position yourself in three pack? Is putting in all your optimizing your whole listing site with your name, address, phone number must be consistent. And if you can have a direction to your place, right? Get it's a Google Maps and also adding direction to your place. That means from a places of interest. Let's say Euromobile is in Temasha, you can get this direction from Subang Parade or Empire Mall. It direct people how to get from there. Hello temperature. There's someone. Can you put yourself on mute? All right, there's someone unmuted their audio. All right, so these are something that you can do. Okay, do you have, so basically these listings are free. You can pretty much claim it. Go to Google My Business site with something like this. Go here. If you have an Gmail account, you can pretty much sign in and manage your business. All right, put in as much content as possible, like your photos, the most important thing is your name, address, phone number, right? make sure it's consistent across every listing, every business listing site, right? You see, for instance, if I search for, let's say, for instance, say I'm searching for, let's say, hotels in Subang, yeah. See, Subang hotels. All these are Google My Business listing. So Google put in their listing on top of anyone else. So even if you have a website, nowadays when they search query on this kind of things, so basically Google is showing some what do you call it, showing Google My Business Google My Business listing in their ranking factors. So pretty much you need to have a Google My Business site. Very critical, guys. So yeah, all you guys in the automotive side. Yesterday I checked some from Tower and everything. You see, right? Let's say Mitsubishi dealer in Tower. That's what I checked yesterday. There's only one. So imagine if there's if you are not the one, then you're pretty much losing out the traffic for those people who are searching in Taiwan for your business. There's only one listed here, so that's why it's only coming out in for one listing. So take advantage of this strategy. This technique will help you to actually rank in Google. So what you should do is claim your Google My Business listing, and of course optimize for your Mac, right? How you do it is basically if you go to YouTube, um, check on YouTube, how do I optimize my Google My Business site? Right, there's plenty of videos and tutorials out there. So yeah, you can learn from there as well. The other thing that you can do is also make sure you are also doing um, creating a list on Bing. Bing is another search engine. Even though the search volume is low, but they still make some of them. Some of the your target audience will be there. You'll be surprised. So make sure you're in Bing, you're in Apple, whichever platform that's allow you to list, like Yelp, Yellow Pages, even like local directories. Get your business listed. Right. Right. Why? Okay. I've already explained just now. It's great for local SEO. If it gives you the chance to get searched locally, and the most important part is the backlinks. Backlinks we will cover in the next slide. It's one of the tactics as well. And you're next to all your competitors because if you are what do you call that? If your competitor is where they are, let's say, listing and you are not, you pretty much lose that sale. Next, the next is a technique for us today will be content creation. What is content? Content can be anything from uploading a photo on Facebook, Instagram, or a video. Pretty much you have so many types of contents. It can be in form of blogs, it can be form of a white paper, right? There's so many type of content. Um, why the critic content is actually a for link for backlinks actually. If you're creating, let's say, if you have a website, you need backlinks to rank. That's one of the what I was saying just now. One of the three key factors to rank your website is on page, off page. On page is your meta title, meta description, your keyword in your title tag. Your off page will be whatever links connected to your site. So that is why content creation is a strategy, especially when creating blogs. Is one of the new is a new strategy that we use to actually get more backlinks, right? If you create a good video, for instance, and then you put it up in your website, and someone actually shares that video from your website, that will create a backlinks for you or someone take your YouTube site, because always remember, yeah, your website, you need to get connected to all the social sites. Make sure you have your domain name listed in all your social sites, either in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, right? If you have a domain uh, and a site ready, make sure you put in that site in all your online properties, right? Content is king, right? There are 105 different types of contents. You pick and choose what content that works best for you. Please check my site performance. Let's see. Yeah, yes, probably towards the end of the session, we'll do a little check. Mm, okay, why is content? Why the why behind the content is basically for discovery, awareness, and also to legalize your business and expertise. Because you see, like if no one know you, how are they going to buy from you? So content is one way for you to tell your target audience that you are a I'm here. This is my site. This is my social profile. This is where you can discover. This is what I do. So you're pretty much making yourself known to your target audience, right? And from there, you pretty much you will get the 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 right audience coming back to you, right? Content marketing costs less than 62%, which is very true because right now, you instead of spending money on studio produced videos, you can actually use your handphone to actually shoot a video, because nowadays a user generated content or video is much more, it's get a better response and engagement compared to a professionally shot video. So get used to so going in front of the camera if you are those people who are not shy. Um, for me, I'm more of an introvert. I rather be behind the scene. That is why my expertise in SEO, where I don't have to face the clients, is always we work behind the scene, right? Okay, benefit of good contents is basically, like I said, referral traffic. Uh, when someone like you, let's say someone shares your post on Facebook, they have friends who will see their post, and then if they like the content, they might go in and check out your site, and then from there you will get referral traffic, right? You will get the backlinks, and yeah, that is to rank your to build your credibility of the website, right? Of course, increase the higher domain rating, because once you have, let's say, a high backlinks coming from quality sites, your domain rating will go up, because domain rating is one of those things that Google sees before they rank your site. Okay, backlink. All right. Yeah, so we'll cover that towards the end. I mean, already is here as well. Yeah. Why is link building important, and what is important? Why is it important? Okay, link building, the backlink, right, is the process of acquiring links to your website from another external web page to some kind of intentional activities. Like if your content are creating, you're creating content, right, and you're putting it on, let's say, on YouTube. Link that content to your website. So now you have a high, because YouTube domain authority is about 90 plus. When you have a content coming back from YouTube to your website, Google will see that as um, a so-called an upward for your site, because an authority site is talking about your site, is linking to you, right? So for instance, if you are, let's say, for instance, if you're a good blogger, create an account um, in places like Blogger, places like is it, yeah, these are places like blogger.com, or even there's so many blogs sites available. Create some blogs from that. Those sites linking back to your site. If you have photo, put it in Imager. Imager is one site that you can actually uh, put in all your photos, or maybe in Pinterest. Yeah, put in your photos from the Pinterest and then link back to your site. Those are your backlinks that will come to you, which will help your site rank. Because not all links are equal, right? So you got to take this into consideration. Um, what kind of links are coming to you? Two critical links that you don't want is from a gaming site and also from a porn site. Right? When a gaming site linked to you, that gives signals to Google that your site is linked to a so-called a something that Google does not um, they consider it as a bad link or something. Yeah. Promotion. All right. The final part. This is one of the ways for you to get your site linked is to promote. With your optimized content in place, your website is now in a good state to start appearing in relevant terms. Right. So make sure when you're promoting your content, like for instance, you take a video, you can put it on YouTube, you can put it on Facebook, on Instagram, social site, because all these social sites they have high domain rating, right? They're high domain authority. So when you publish them, and you will get backlinks that's back to your site. Always bring back your so whatever content that you're publishing, always bring it back to your site. Some of um, some of other places that you can actually go and publish your content is on all these places like Quora. Quora is a good place for you to actually um, answer question, become the authority in your subject matter, right? Go to Quora, help people out, because that's where you will get the your expertise will be more. Um, um, it will matter to the people that you are reaching out to, right? Forums. I need to speed up. I got 5 minutes left. Shoots, man. All right. Um, Where do you check your backlinks? Okay, these are some of the slides where you can actually check your backlinks. Majestic Backlink Analyzer. Okay, the easiest way for you to compete with your competitor, go to these sites and put in your competitor. Like for instance, let me do a quick one. I got to speed up really, really fast. I only got 5 minutes left. Um, okay, you can just put in your details here. I mean your domain name here, and then you can check. One way to match your backlinks to your competitor is see who is linking to them. All right, who is linking to their site. I mean, do you have a website? You can pretty much put in here, then later we see who is linking to you. Then from there you can actually, I'll show you how to actually increase your domain rating. Right. Once you know who is linking to your website, who is linking to your competitor, and their domain rating is high, is where you want to be. This is one. Oh, sorry. This is one place where you can actually check and yeah, match your competitor. Because if your competitor has 20 backlinks, you just add on another 5, right? That will make a difference to move your site up the rank. Right. Let's go back. All right. Next. All right. Keep yourself updated from these sites. Okay, these are some of the sites that you can get yourself updated, because they will anything that's happening online on in terms of digital marketing. These 4 sites, they are well informed. You'll be well informed if you just go in and and you want to subscribe to their email list, and they will send you emails on any algorithm changes, any tactics that is working right now. Right, pretty much. Okay, next we go on branding. Guys, each and every one of you need to focus on your branding because branding is the future, right? As Google ex-CEO says, brands are the solution, not the problem. This is pretty hard actually. Brands are how you sort out the cesspool, which is quite cool actually, right? Because Google and FB will look at brand signals to weed out fake news. That's how they weed out. But a lot of big so-called big news agencies back in the States, they are creating out fake news as well. So when you are too big, is not an issue. But when you are just building up, this is why you need to establish your brand. That means your brand is well positioned across the platform. Next is personalization. Personalization is the future. How do you personalize is basically through bots, to bots on your website, in your Facebook page, in your whichever. Most of you guys in Malaysia are using WhatsApp, right? Because if you start creating a personalized experience for every single person that comes in conversation with you, you pretty much will collect some data, and conversion will happen because once you know what is happening, what kind of message your audience are engaging with, you pretty much get into the habit uh, of churning out the right content. Personalization is the future of business, right? You can read it further in this uh, site, um, called the inboundresponsivemarketing.com. If you go to this site, uh, we are running 1 minute left. Hang on, guys. Okay. Next is email marketing. I need to do it in 30 seconds. Okay. Email marketing is still effective. Use email to nurture leads and speed up your sales cycle, right? Because email is one of those things that a lot of people, a lot of companies um, do not realize the importance of email. But when you're doing email, always optimize it with doing an A/B test, right? When you're doing email, always focus on your call to action. That means it's the title of your email. Make sure it's optimized well. How do you check the title of your email? Go to Google, search for those ad copies that people are using, and you can model after them. Because if you have an optimized title, people will open your email. And before, because a lot of people tell me that my email don't get delivered, check whether your email has been blacklisted or not, right? How do you do that is, yeah, pretty much. You can pretty much go to YouTube and check out how do I check whether my email is blacklisted. Next, the final one is going omnichannel, right? You need to be going omnichannel, guys. Omnichannel is you can't depend only on social sites. Make sure you're on every platform, right? You can because nowadays your marketing can be both online and offline. You need to practice the high touch and high tech. You need to have both. Your target audience needs to experience you in both forms, online as well as offline, right? Omnichannels works very well. It's a digital marketing and what do you call it? Conventional marketing works hand in hand. Do not underscore the importance. Yeah. Next, the reality is okay. Marketing never stops. Okay, what works today may not work tomorrow. So the best approach is keep testing and learning. Of course, you're going to get overwhelmed with information overload. That's okay. You just focus on what you know best, what you know that's working. Always be testing, guys. If you are active on social site, it's time for you to get on your website. If your website is not getting enough traffic or enough, if your DA is pretty low, then yeah, pretty much you need to work on it as well. Finally, there are three types of people in the world. People who make the things happen, people who watch things happen, and people wonder what happened. Right? Be the person who make things happen. Right. So thanks guys for attending. We'll go into Q&A for the next whatever minutes we have left from the admin. Yeah, so yes, now you can shoot in your question. I try to answer as much as possible. Right. So let's get to the question. Novik, can you tell me a little detail of this? How can I create improve your domain rating? Yeah, Novik, like I said, Novik, just run. If you have a competitor, run through their. Okay, first and foremost is create social. So, okay, the sorry. Let me just read to you guys a question from Novrit. I mean, can you tell a little? Can you tell us a little detail how I can create, how I can improve my domain rating? Any suggestion? My domain rating is pretty low. Okay, first and foremost is have you got your social fortress or uh, I call it social fortress because it's like a digital real estate. Do you have again? It's going back to listing. Yeah, go to this site and see what brand is your brand still available. Then from here, create create your listing. Right, create a listing, connect it to your domain, and then pretty much yeah. From this site, your brand your brand your domain rating will go up because Google sees a lot of high D8 sites like you see like Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, right? All these sites will when they have a link back to your site, that will indirectly increase your domain rating. Especially if your site is very new, you start off with this, and then as you're building up the blogs, that is where you will get so-called other sites. And once you are ranking, then other sites will start noticing you. That is why you need to be in multi-channel. That means once you create a content, make sure you're promoting it across the board, across every social sites that you are in. Mm, what's the difference between listing and Google? This we have covered. Yasir, what is your website? Can you? Okay. Let's see. Which one do you want me to check? Yasir, that's to be 1303. Let's see. Is there any other questions, guys? Besides that? Mm, any questions? You can put it down here, guys. We'll try to. Okay. This, let's see. Okay. Is your site correct? Yasir? Um, domain. All right. Okay, Yasir, for instance, your site 303.com.my, you see your trust flow is pretty much non-existent and citation flow is non-existent as well. Okay, citation are basically say like link. Okay, trust flow is all about what kind of quality sites they're talking about you. Link volume is what kind of links that's linking to you, right? If let's say if you have, for instance, if you have all these sites established, I mean, you go in and create account and then link it to your website, your citation as well as your oops, this will help. This one need to be improved, right? So create those what are the social sites from here, right? Just go put in your name here and then see what is available. Um, oh, okay, guys, is there any other question before? Yes, say right. Don't understand why you can't. It's still loading. Hmm. Right, it's not happening. It's still loading. That's fine. It's pretty slow. Anyways, guys, if there's no other question, thank you again for dropping in. If you have any question that you want to shoot out to me, I'm in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, just leave your question there, and then I'll connect with you after this webinar. With that, thank you very much for joining us. Stay safe, be safe, and practice social distancing. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, thank you everyone for joining this session. For those who are joining session for Adobe Premiere on 3 p.m., Sumita will send a reminder before the webinar. And if you have any inquiry for in-house training or also Digital Marketing Institute UK program, you can WhatsApp me or call me, Liana, at number stated, and also can email to us. And that's all from us. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.